we're in the future. Like 2020 is the future, but it's not really what Back to the Future predicted, is it? Like when they went to 2015 in that film, it was a bit more glorified.
Somewhere unseen. It got a little longer, so it seems.
Oh yeah, we're back. Welcome to chapter 100 and didn't look it up. Oops, I had the whole summer to do that. Hang on, 100 and just got to search my own podcast on Spotify. 141. That is right. Of Memoirs of a Low Melanin Muchacho. How y'all doing? New decade, new me. New podcast background, new home. I moved out of house, which I talked about, I think, in the last podcast. And then, yeah, it was Christmas happened. I moved out and it was a whole thing. And I thought, let's just give it a minute. Let's pump the brakes on the podcast. We'll reset, come back 2020, and we'll kick it in the goddamn cock. And here we are, kicking that scrote. And it's good to be back kicking. And I've changed, you know. I feel like I'm a new person, you know. I've come back now to this podcast spiritually enlightened. I feel like a white girl who's come back from Europe and is telling all her friends, you simply must go to the Greek islands. It's just like she makes out like the movie Mamma Mia doesn't exist and no one knows what Europe is, right? I love that, man. All my friends come back. Oh my God, you must. Rome, have you been? Oh my God, they have this thing. It's called the Colosseum. You probably wouldn't have heard about it, but and there's this tower, and it's just on a slight angle. It's crazy. And I did the funniest thing. I don't know if you saw it on my Instagram, but I stood next to it like I was trying to hold it up. But so it was like an optical illusion. Oh, we had a great time. And you must go to Amsterdam. Shut the fuck up, right? So that's me now. I'm back and I've grown up. Your boy's grown up and I've come back to this podcast enlightened. Will I be annoying like a girl who's come back after Europe? Maybe. I might tell you about, guys, you'll never guess what happens when you move out. I don't know if you guys know about this, but you got to pay bills. I've been paying bills. I pay gas, electricity. You simply must try it. Okay, I paid rent. All right, I've sent a few emails to my landlord about asking him different queries, and you simply must. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm good. It's good to be back, and I have moved out. So this is a new podcast background. I'll get to that. I have a little what's this called again? Shit. I don't know. I can't think of the word. It's like a No, I can't think of the word. It's a thing of... I'm almost breaking my microphone. God damn, this is not off to a good start. I got a new setup here. So it's similar background, same, but different. I've got a brand new audio setup, which means, very exciting, first ever sponsor of the podcast is Rode. Because I didn't pay for any of this shit. Not shit, though. That's a bad ad. Already off to a bad start. It's great equipment. They gave me a new Rodecaster Pro, a bunch of travel microphones, new cords. They gave me a new shotgun mic for my camera. They hooked your boy up. So massive shout out to Rode, and would highly recommend them. I'm not just saying that because they did your boy a deal. I'm going to stop saying that. All right, because they did me a deal. I'm not just saying go check out Rode at rode.com.au. I'm not just saying that because they gave me stuff. But if you wanted to, you'd get there at rode.com.au. I think. I haven't even looked it up, what I'm supposed to be plugging. But no, shout out to Rode. I've been using their microphones for ages. Yeah, it's this isn't a Rode, this microphone, but all this actual audio interface, like the soundboard I'm using. We've got sound effects now on this podcast, huh? See? Huh? That's pretty good, isn't it? You know? Just got some free stuff, nothing but net. Boom. That's how we're doing it this year. Sound effects, stepping it up. It's very cool. So massive shout out to Rode for hooking me up with that gear. They do great stuff. So it's 2020. And what does that mean? It means we're living in the future, guys. It means we've made it. I honestly didn't think that I'd get here. Now, I'm not saying I thought that I would die like before 2020, before I'm 23. I didn't think I'd die, but I just never thought about that, like that the year 2020 would happen and I'd be just here kicking it on a podcast. I didn't really, when like you were a kid and it was like 2008 and you didn't even realize that 2020 would ever exist. You're like, dude, it's 2008. Like, I'm living in the now. Like, in 4 years, the world's going to end in 2012 because of the Mayan calendar. Do you remember that weird time where, like, a bunch of people just locked themselves in a dungeon and thought they were going to die because they thought the world was going to end? Then they made a movie about it. The 2000, like, that period where that was happening was just wild. Like, there was Facebook events like, the world's going to end today. And everyone with a brain was like, probably not. But everyone without a brain was like, no, but this one ancient calendar predicted it. So that was a weird time. But yeah, when I was like 2006, 2008, primary school, just chilling, going into year 7, at not one point was I thinking like, one day it's going to be 2020. I was just like chilling, living in the now. It's too late to apologize. It's too late. Just like pumping that, like Timbaland and One Republic. Or is it One Republic? It should be One Republic and Timbaland. That makes me angry. Did you know that song is Timbaland featuring One Republic? The levels of disrespect. Like the guy from One Republic does all the work. Hang on, I'm going to find that song. Apologize. It's called Apologize. Do you remember this song? I'm just saying. Everyone remembers it, right? It's literally like so fresh. Like 2008. This was rocking. And you say... Okay. So this is One Republic, right? And that's Timbaland. If you just go back here. So this is One Republic killing it. And this is where Timbaland comes in. Sounds like he's eating too much. That's what I sounded like after Christmas. Hey, Luke, would you like some more ham? No, thanks. And that's what Timbaland did and got his name as the main feature on, like, he's not even a feature, as the main artist. I don't give a fuck if he produces a song. All right, I don't want emails or comments. Good, pretty produced. I don't care. All right, look who does the work there. All right? One Republic's shoulders must be sore. Maybe that's why they had to take like a 10-year break between that and Counting Stars. But yeah, we're in the future. Like 2020 is the future. But it's not, doesn't feel like it. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't, like, this is the future, by the way. If you're thinking, no, Luke, that's dumb. It's the present. It's now. No, we're in the fucking future. But it's not really what Back to the Future predicted, is it? Like when they went to 2015 in that film, it was a bit more glorified. Now it's 2020, and like not only do we not have hoverboards or anything good like pizzas that, go like that, the world's on fire. You know what we are? We're in Biff's timeline of Back to the Future 2. You know the fucked part of the movie where Biff finds the sports almanac and then the world just goes to shit? I feel like that's what timeline we're in now. We're just like, there's just like the streets are burnt. Like literally the country is on fire. There's just like literally Trump is president. And I don't care about politics, but like that's what the character was based off, I think. And like there's just a lot of bad shit happening. And it's like maybe we need like a Marty and a Doc to go back and reverse the future. Maybe one day I'm going to be walking down the street and all of a sudden like just the world's going to be better, Anyway, it kind of sucks, man. Like it's such a bummer. Like I don't remember fires being this bad. Like the fires are really bad. If you're from overseas, you probably would have heard about it because people have been talking about in America, like the Australian fires right now. There was literally a fire 10 minutes away from my house. My friend had to leave, like I had to evacuate. And I don't live in like the country. I mean, I live in Diamond City, so it's the, you know, economical and it's one of the thriving hubs of Melbourne. But no, this was like in Greensborough, like is almost lit up my primary school, which was crazy. So yeah, like there's fires everywhere, like literally 10 minutes away from my house in the suburbs, just ripping through suburbs now. Like it's lots of out in the country, up the East Coast. So massive shout out to all them firefighters doing it tough. They are truly heroes. And yeah, it's so shitty to watch every time you turn on the news or something. Hey, so I just wanted to interrupt the podcast at this point because obviously I was just talking about the Australian bushfires that are happening at the moment. And I actually recorded this podcast like 3 days ago. And I don't think at the time I hadn't done any research. I don't think I had a full understanding of the severity of the situation and really what was actually going on. It's one of those things, it's on such a large scale at this point. It's very hard to comprehend and process. I think it took me a few days for it to really hit home. And when I recorded this podcast, I didn't really know what to say, and I kind of just moved on quickly. But it's definitely something that's on like the forefront of everyone's minds here in Australia. So I did want to address it, and obviously wanted to help. So I'll get to that in a sec. But if you don't know, if you're overseas, Australia is on fire. There's no other way to put it, essentially. There's been 6 million hectares of land that has been burnt already. I read that on Monday there was like 136 fires burning in New South Wales alone. That's just one state. And 69 of them are still uncontained. So there's just fires burning out of control everywhere. There's 1,500 homes have been destroyed. So like people just losing everything. It's going through homes. 23 people, or I think 24, I'm not sure what the exact number is. People have lost their lives, and 480 million animals have died as well. So this fire's just like ripping through like habitats. I read there was a third of New South Wales's koala population has been killed, and a third of the habitat as well that koalas live in has been killed, that kind of gives you, I just wanted to give you a level of like perspective. I don't really remember the fires being this bad ever in my life. It seems like it's just completely out of control. And obviously I don't want to talk about it for too long because there's nothing I can add that anyone else hasn't said already. So the reason why I bring it up is obviously everyone wants to help. I have this little platform which is cool, and obviously there's Pink's donated $500,000 to the fund. Elton John donated $1 million on stage, which is so awesome. So I at first I was thinking like, oh, this is stupid. Like, why even weigh in on it? But then every little bit counts. So, and I really wanted to do something. I've already done some like benefit gigs and stuff like that, where all the money after the gig has been donated to the bushfire appeal, which I was stoked to be a part of. It's awesome that I could help in any little way. And obviously I donated my own money as well, but I kind of wanted to do something else to help out. Now, I do hate it when influencers do this like shit where they're like, oh, 20% of proceeds are going to this horrible tragedy. And you're like, cool, dude, you're profiting 80% out of a horrible fucking thing. Now, that's good if you've already donated, I guess, and then you buy something you wanted and then some of the money goes. It's not a bad thing, but I'm just not really about that. So I wanted to think of a way where I could donate 100% of the profits. I don't think merch is a good way to do it because, look, it's very boring, but I don't own all my merch. There's distributors, like there's a lot of people have a piece in the pie, and it gets very complicated and boring. So I was thinking for this week, 100% of all the profits from my digital download stream of my comedy special, The Whitest Boy That Ever Lived, will be going to the CFA Bushfire Appeal. And by the way, all the links of, if you want to just donate, if you fucking hate my comedy, right, and you don't want to watch that, just donate. Like, I don't care if you buy the special, right? But I'm saying if you've already donated, this is mainly for people who have already donated. If you've already donated and haven't seen my comedy special yet, then if you get it this week, I will donate 100% of the money to the CFA Bushfire Appeal, because there's heaps of people that need it. 100% of the profits of that appeal go to people who have been directly affected, such as like buying grocery shopping, replacing school uniforms, bunch of stuff like that, which is a really cool thing. So yeah, I'll be donating that. Obviously, if you don't have enough money, there's other ways you can help. Another reason why I wanted to do this, in case you don't know, another way you could help is like donating blood. They need a bunch of that at the moment, so that's a cool thing you could do. It doesn't cost anything, just your time. You could also, like even Meg today has been making these like little Joey pouches, and you can hand them into like vets. They're collecting them for all like the wildlife that's been affected and stuff, because they're running out of resources for that. Because yeah, it kind of really happened really suddenly, so everyone's kind of just trying to help out. That's the one thing I love about Australia and Australians. This is why we're the fucking best people, because whenever shit goes bad, everyone seems to unite and help each other out, which is really cool. And that's what being Australian is all about. So really, that's the least I could do, is trying to do something. So yeah, if you haven't seen my comedy special yet, get it this week, and you'll be helping out a bit, as well as having a good old chuckle. Boom, that's double good. Look at me go. But if you already have watched my comedy special, then please donate below if you haven't already. There's Wires, there's the Red Cross. I'll put all the links below. Pick whichever PL charity you'd like it to go to. And yeah, the main thing is just try and help out, because that's what being an Aussie is all about. But yeah, also a massive shout out to obviously all the CFA members. I read there was like 2,800 people in New South Wales alone fighting fires this week, which is super cool to see, and those people are heroes. So yeah, I don't really want to stay on it for too long, because you guys probably heard enough of it, and there's not a lot I can do except for I was trying to do what I can. So yeah, and by the way, the reason I chose my comedy special is because I own 100% of it. So I can control how it gets distributed and where all the money goes. And also my management have agreed to obviously not take a cut this week. So it will be 100% of the money that I get back from that will be going to the Bushfire Appeal. My comedy special is $10 on my website. So yeah, if you want to laugh and want to do something good, that would be awesome thing to do, I guess. Otherwise, just donate below. And also hope that everyone's safe, and yeah, make sure if the fire's coming and you're listening to this, get the fuck out of there, okay? It's not worth it. Don't be the hero with the hose, okay? Just get out. There's nothing worse than like hearing horrible shit where like people have tried to defend their houses and stuff. So there's been a lot of stories like that going around and stuff, which I think that's why it took me a while to process what's actually happening, is because you hear about it, but it's not until you hear like personal, specific stories. I watched a few videos on Facebook where they're like firefighters just fighting them, like standing there with a hose, and the water was just being evaporated as like the water hit the fire. Like the hose was doing fuck all, which is scary. So yeah, do anything you can to help out Australia, especially if you're overseas as well. Great way to help out if you're overseas. So yeah, back to the podcast. Thank you. So yeah, I've had a good Christmas. I needed so many things to fill you in on. Where should we start? Let's start at Christmas. Let's begin from there. You know what I was sick of before Christmas? Just hearing, like you talk to anyone, you see someone at the shops talking to retail staff, and they go, they're wrapping up whatever you bought, and they go, can you bloody believe it's Christmas, huh? Can you believe it? Yep, happens every year. Plausible. Can believe it, but they'll go, nah, but like, can you believe it? That's come around so fast, hasn't it? I can fathom it. Oh, here's me believing it. Yes, it's here. Can you believe it? I reckon I heard, can you believe it's Christmas? Over 100 times in the month leading up to Christmas. December is just the month where people go, can you believe it's Christmas? And you go, yeah. There's wreaths on the streets. There's lights everywhere. Christmas with the Cranks was on TV last night on Channel 9. So was Santa Claus 1, 2, and 3. Pretty sure Channel 7 is doing a marathon on their new fucking 7 flicks. Right? Yes, I can believe it's Christmas. Right? I've seen Elf twice in the last 2 weeks because my girlfriend enjoys festivities. I can believe it's Christmas. Can you believe it's Christmas? Yes. That's what I hate about Christmas. It's just the hype. I love Christmas. Do not even start pointing fingers at me being any kind of Scrooge. Okay? I'm a festive boy. Love festivities. Don't like pre-festive hype. I'll give you from December 20th onwards, you can be excited about Christmas. If you are excited about Christmas early December, firstly, that's fine if you're 8, right? And you don't have a job and you've got nothing to do and the curriculum's kind of finished for the year and your teacher's like, draw a picture of Santa Claus, fuck off, right? I got to do reports. So that's fine if you're 8. But if you're any more than 8, 3 words. Do better shit until December 20th. Then go, oh, that's how that, but can you believe it's Christmas? Yeah, I can. It's December 20th. Huh. Again. It's like those people who say, can you believe it's Christmas? Do you reckon they're actually thinking like, fuck, I wonder if we'll do it next year. I wonder if society's, this might be the last one. And then next year they're just surprising and going, ha, can you believe we all decided to do that again? Yeah, it's a tradition. Don't really know why we all just do Christmas, huh? Ever think about that? You ever stop to think about like, because in your brain you're like, oh, it's Christmas, or hang out with my family, oh, it's Christmas. You know, you just do Christmas shit. But it's kind of weird though that everyone just like goes, all right, today's Christmas, and we all just do it, unless you're a Jehovah's Witness or is it them who don't celebrate it, whatever it is. Unless you like don't celebrate it, but even still, they know it's Christmas. It's pretty weird, isn't it? This society, like I'm not religious. There's no reason for me to do Christmas other than just it's a thing that gets booked in every year, and I'm required to attend. And I don't mind attending. It's fine. It's just a thing that we do, and it's fucking bizarre when you think about it like that. Maybe we should just stop Christmas. But that's what every Christmas movie is about. Is like, why is every Christmas movie some 9-year-old trying to save Christmas? He's like, I gotta save Christmas. And everyone's like, he saved Christmas. And there's always someone trying to stop Christmas. That's me. I'm the person who's like, fuck off, all right? I don't mind it, but I'm not anti-Christmas. I'm just like, I'm not so pro-Christmas that I'd save it. If I was that 9-year-old kid and there was an evil person trying to like a bar humbug like the Grinch was just trying to ruin Christmas, I'd be like, let's just see how this plays out. Let's see what no Christmas is like. Maybe it will. I mean, it might be shit. I might regret it. I might be like, man, I probably should have, done something about that. But I'm 9, so. But in those movies, they always like work with Santa or work with their little festive friends. Like in what's that movie? I don't like it. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I fucking hate that movie, The Polar Express. The only good thing about that film is animated Tom Hanks, and the rest of it can go die in a burning festive hole with pretty much every other Christmas tradition that sucks nutsack. That movie is terrible. There's actually very few good Christmas movies, really, if you think about it. People just like them because of Christmas. I mean, you could be the guy who's like, Home Alone's a Christmas movie. Home Alone is not a Christmas movie. It's a movie that's set at Christmas. It is not a festive film. It's a film about a kid who has irresponsible parents and robbers who aren't very good at their jobs. That's what that film is about. It's not about Christmas. Hey, when people go, oh, Die Hard's a Christmas movie, I'm like, no, it's just a movie that's set in December, right? And there's the opening scene is people going, can you believe it's Christmas? And then it's Bruce Willis going, fuck yeah, I can, bro. I haven't seen Die Hard for ages. Is that how it goes? Yeah, it's Christmas. What else? I feel like, this was one thing that I was annoyed that didn't happen this festive season. For some reason, I really wanted this situation to happen, right? You know how people always go, like, people always go, Merry Christmas to each other, you know, Merry Christmas. And then some people, like, who are stuck up go like, I actually don't celebrate Christmas, so I'm offended. It's just say Happy Holidays, right? There's people on Twitter going, I would encourage people to say Happy Holidays because you don't know what people celebrate. And it's like, oh, fuck you. All right, people are saying Merry Christmas because they're trying to be nice, right? It's just a thing you say to someone, like in the street. Say if you're walking in a car park and you drop something, they go, oh, hey, you dropped something. Oh, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate that. No worries. And it's like December 23rd, you go, Merry Christmas. And you go, you too. It's just a nice thing to say to someone. And it'd be pretty rude, I think, if someone in that situation turned around and went, I actually don't celebrate. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, just go, oh, you too. You don't need to start that. But there's some people who go, I prefer Happy Holidays. Thank you very much. What I wanted to do this Christmas was I wanted to have someone say Happy Holidays to me so I could get offended by that. Like, I really wanted... I'm not going to be offended if someone says Merry Christmas to me because I do celebrate Christmas. But I really wanted someone to be like, Happy Holidays, and I just wanted to turn around because, you know, that type of person is really trying to include everyone. They've said that, so I feel included no matter what I believe in or celebrate. So I wanted someone to be like, Happy Holidays, and I wanted to turn around and just be like, I actually don't take holidays. I'm fucking on the grind 24/7. The hustle never stops. Thank you very much. I would never, like, what about if someone just doesn't take Happy Holidays? You know what? I think Happy Holidays is more offensive because so many people have to work through Christmas and it sucks. You can't say that to someone in retail. You're doing your Christmas shopping, Christmas Eve, because I'm an idiot and I leave it till the last minute every year. They go beep, beep. And then at the very end, they go, all right, that's going to be $23.50. And I go, Happy Holidays. They're going to be like, hey, come back. Listen here, fuck brain. All right. Does this look like I'm on holidays? Or did I just check through all your shit and get paid minimum wage for it? Say Merry Christmas or take it back. And I would think that's fair. Happy Holidays is probably more offensive. That's what I decided. You know, Happy Holidays, you're like, how fucking dare you? Okay? I'm always grinding. You bitch. What else is doing with me? I wrote down a bunch of stuff to talk about. I want to talk about goals and a little bit of 2019 stuff, okay? We've had some giggles. I've had some complaints. I've got a few things off my chest. It's now time to set some goals. Because if you don't set goals, then you can't, live that nothing but net lifestyle because otherwise you're not achieving shit. So I want to go through 2019. Firstly, thank you so much for last year was awesome. I didn't really do a video about it yet and may not. I don't know. I just didn't get around to it. And I guess if you listen to this podcast, you are one of the people who tune into this and support what I do, and the only reason why I don't have to have a real job and I get to do the best job in the world every day. So I really appreciate that. It does mean the world. 2019 was sick. I did the biggest tour of my freaking life. I did, it started off a bit rough. I had glandular fever at the start of the tour in Perth, and I'm so excited to go back to Perth. I can't not make it up for those people, but just I really want to go back to Perth and just fucking kill it because I was so under the weather for those shows. And thank you so much to the people who came out to that. I did Perth Fringe last year. It was this time last year in January I started my show, and the show improved so much by the end that I just want to go back to Perth this year and just do some great shows. And I booked in a little room. I wanted to do this room I love called Lazy Susan's in Perth. It's my favorite room to do there. It's 90-seater, and I want to do a bunch of shows there in Perth this year. So, yeah, definitely come out, and I'll be sweet. So, yeah, the year started off last year, was cool, but I had glandular fever. But then after that, I did, the tour, did the comedy festival. I saw the most tickets I've ever had, but that's not really what I do it for. I just, I just wanted to, have fun on tour, and I had so much fun. What else happened last year? I feel you know what I did? I did probably the the least career progression. I mean, at least from my perspective, it felt a little bit stagnant, but I guess it didn't. It wasn't though. Like I grew 30,000 subscribers. I a lot of new people came on board. I had stand-up clips go viral. It was a great year for me career-wise, but and I filmed my debut comedy special, which, by the way, announcement, bit of a drum roll, which you can now watch on Amazon Prime. That is right. Did that go off? Yeah, boom.
Swish, swish, bish.
That's what I'm talking about. Nothing but net. It's so cool. I have a comedy special. My debut comedy special is on a streaming service, which is I really didn't think would happen at the start. And so yeah, that's cool. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can go watch The Whitest Boy That Ever Lived there. But if you actually want to support me, because by the way, they didn't buy it, I gave it to them. So if you want to support me financially, then lukekidgell.com is the place to go watch that if you want to support me directly. Otherwise, if you have Amazon Prime, yeah, go watch that shit. It's super cool. It's very cool that you can just like watch it on a TV if you have an obscure streaming service, which, by the way, I think might start popping off once they release this Lord of the Rings show, which might be like a year away. So I'm just holding out hope that Amazon Prime just starts becoming big, and then I just get all my next comedy specials on there. So yeah, that's very cool. So thank you, and thank you to all the people who made that happen. Whether it's you who's listening to this, couldn't have done it without you guys. People from Verve, my management, Connor who directed it. It's really, really surreal. So yeah, last year was like really good career wise. Maybe during it, I felt like I wasn't progressing as much. Like it was just a lot of like me figuring out what the fuck I wanted to do, and it took a year to figure that out. And I so many times throughout the year, I thought I had it. I was like, no, I want to do this. And then I was like, nah, I don't know. I want to focus on that. And then towards the end of the year, I got a better idea. So like, if you look back to where I was last year, I was living at home. I really wanted to do videos again at the start of the year. Then I got glandular fever, and that knocked me out for a bit. And that's I got it bad. I had it really bad. It knocked me out for like a few weeks, and then a few weeks after that, you still feel shitty and lethargic. And then the comedy festival just crept up so closely after that. And then I was doing podcasts. We're still doing radio at the start of last year. And then we realized that maybe that wasn't a good fit. Lewis and I realized, maybe that wasn't the best fit for what we wanted to achieve online. And we couldn't see the benefit anymore from radio. So we decided to leave that just after the comedy festival. Then we spent about 3 months in limbo where we knew we wanted to start a podcast, but it cost us thousands of dollars, like almost $10,000 to build a studio and a set from scratch, all the equipment, and also like just getting it all up. Like we had to, you have to build the set. We physically had to build it. So we were in like limbo for a few months, and while trying to keep all our other shit going, which is why this podcast was inconsistent last year. Then I started a Patreon, which allowed me to hire people to help me edit and stuff, which did improve things towards the end of the year, but I still felt like I could do more and maybe up the efficiency with the podcast and stuff. So over this little summer break, I've really planned out my year this year and what I want, and I'll tell you guys about that. I can talk about it now. I'll just talk about it now if you're interested. I like that I'm saying if you're interested, but it's like, hey, I'm going to talk about it, so you fucking would want to be. Otherwise, tune out. I don't care. All right? Please keep listening. I really like people listening to this podcast. So, this year, essentially, this week, starting from now, and I'm not going to make any promises because I've done that in the past, and that's another thing I didn't want to do, was promise a bunch of shit. But I'll just go through my goals. I wrote them down. The first goal is to be more consistent. Now, thanks to your help on Patreon. Now, if you want to support the podcast, what I do, the best way to do this year is on Patreon, right? That is how I'm funding everything this year. I'm going to try and build it up, and I'm hopefully, with the help of you guys, we can create something pretty cool this year. I'm essentially paying someone to produce this podcast in its entirety and Luke and Meg. Now, that's not saying that it's still the same podcast. Nothing will really change from your perspective other than you'll get a podcast every week. So if you don't know this, since this podcast kind of was on my main channel, now it will be a bit more streamlined thanks to Rode, because I have this new Rodecaster, which means I can do sound effects and stuff live, and all the music. Hopefully it will be a little bit easier to put together. I still want to keep it high quality. So that was taking me a while to edit, and it was really taking me a whole day per week to turn around this podcast. 2 days a week of Luke and Lewis. There's 3 days already gone with just podcasts. We're doing Luke and Meg as well for Patreon every fortnight. So really there's 4 days a week gone most of the time just doing podcast stuff, which leaves 3 days a week, assuming I have no days off, which I don't really, doing stand-up and videos, which should be the two main things I'm doing. So this year, I'm going to try and get that day of the week back that I was spending doing this podcast. And thanks to the people on Patreon who made this possible. And yeah, this podcast will be edited by someone else. There's not much editing to do and clips. And I want to do social media properly this year. I just really want to make more of an effort to be consistent in everything I do. And I thought I could do that myself last year. The only way I'm going to do it with how much stuff I've kind of taken on is to have help. And it's hard because I'm a control freak, and it's hard to let go because it's always been my little baby. I like my podcast and I do it the way I like it. But it's I just need to let go and, obviously oversee everything. And so yeah, that's the way this year's going to run. I'm excited about it. I'm going to streamline the Patreon a little bit more as well, just to make it a little more simple. There's so much shit going on there. Oh, sorry, the camera stopped. Yeah, I was just saying, yeah, I'm going to streamline the Patreon. So if you want to go check it out, it'll be it's $3 a month if you want to listen to the Luke and Meg podcast, which is so much fun. The last one we did was fucking hilarious. Here's a clip from that now. So yeah, Patreon's going to be the way to go this year to support what I do. Another goal, let's keep going through goals. Let's be more consistent. Hang on, where's my goals? I wrote them on my computer. Idiot. The other goal was cover this with stickers. I still can't think of what this is called. I'm going blank. This piece of paper, anyway, it's not. It's a little framed thing here, and I'm going to cover it with stickers, as it says. So that's a little goal, because you got to start small. You can't be setting big goals. I want to make this into a little background feature, or I'll put all my mates' stickers on, because I realized I have so many stickers, I didn't know where to put them. So that's a goal for the year. Just cover that thing in stickers behind me, and you'll see it just progress throughout the year, and you'll be like, fuck, man, Luke's just ticking off all his goals this year. That is almost covered with stickers. I mean, it's not now. At the moment, it just says cover with stickers on it. But soon it will have stickers all over it. What else is a goal? Oh, I want to drink some water out of this Darth Vader mug occasionally. Boom. Check that off. Nothing but net. So already I'm fucking kicking goals this year. That's the thing. You got to start small and work up. So I want to start drinking maybe more out of that Darth Vader mug. I've had it for a couple of years now. Hardly ever use it. But I just think if I get some more use out of this Darth Vader mug, maybe I can channel that energy of the Force or something, or even just maybe feel a little better about myself that I'm finally using that mug that was given to me. So 2020 goals. I want to film my stand-up. And that's another thing with Patreon. So it's currently at 60%. That goal on my Patreon is to a media team. I want to take someone with me on tour, which is not cheap. It's flights, accommodation, and paying someone to be at every single show filming it. Because last year I tried to film all my shows from the back of the room, went through the footage, finally got around to it 6 months later, went through all the footage, and it's just it's usable, but it's not. I wait till I upload a couple of crowd work clips on my channel. It's a massive goal to just up the quality of that, because stand-up is absolutely the best thing I do. If you've ever seen me live, you'll know that. So that's one big thing I want to achieve this year. And if you want to see stand-up clips way more, I reckon over a whole tour, I do so much crowd work at my shows and just talk so much shit. I honestly reckon I could have a whole year of videos, like once a fortnight stand-up clip on my channel for a whole year if I filmed every single show on this tour. That brings me to the next goal, is I'm going to film all these shows. The next goal is I've already booked in, so I went to the Gold Coast 3 weeks ago to plan out my year next year with all my managers and the people who help me out. I've already booked in 53 dates are penciled in. There's some already booked in that are already on sale. If you don't know, with Lewis Spears and I, a fellow comedian, do the show with him, doing a joint regional stand-up tour in February. In like 4 weeks, it starts in Warrnambool. So get the fuck on that. The dates are here if you're watching the video. Okay, so get on that. It's going to be rad. And yeah, so I'm doing shows in places I've never been before. I've never been to pretty much all of these places on my own tour. I don't think I've ever been to any of them. We're doing 13, 14 towns. We're driving in a motorhome from Melbourne to Cairns. It's going to be freaking loose. I'm going to be taking this podcast on the road with me. I'm going to be taking the Luke and Lewis show is going to be going on the road. It's going to be hella fun, and I can't wait. So what else is going to be happening? So that's already booked in. The comedy, I will be doing the Melbourne Comedy Festival. It's not on sale yet, but that will be in April. Then after that, I'm touring my brand new solo show, which is going to be huge. I cannot wait. All the material that I have so far is been fucking annihilating. Just like, dude, I did a gig the other night, and I was just like you know when you just, I didn't mean it. That's the thing. I actually didn't mean for this to happen, but sometimes when I drop like a new 5 on a crowd, I just fucking murder. Like I killed, and I had to get the fuck out of there because I was like, dude, they're after me. Like there's just like, telling you, that was me leaving my gig last night. I was just like, holy shit, I shouldn't have done that new tight 5. But if you want to come see me fucking kill, get on it this year. It's going to be my year. I'm super pumped. And then, pretty exciting, so I'm going to do a national tour after Melbourne, which you can come see me on if you live in all the big major cities, plus some few other places that I did last year I'll be heading back to. Then it gets bigger. If you're listening to this, international person, crossing your fingers going, this could be the fucking year. Some of you will see me. But other countries, look, if you live in Bangladesh, I'm sorry. I may never do a show there. I don't know where that is, really. I just know it exists. And I know you have a cricket team. Same with Sri Lanka. I don't know if I'll ever do a show there. But if you live in the UK next year or New Zealand, holy shit. Hold on to your seat, or you're standing right now, you're running, stop, sit down, hold on to something. I'm coming. Okay? But here's what you got to promise. Okay? I'm coming to the UK and I'm coming to New Zealand. It's penciled in. So the dates aren't booked yet, but it's heavily penciled. I would say it's penciled in to the point with like a bold grey lead where it's really hard to rub out with an eraser. It'll be difficult. I'd have to white out over this, right? And I'm not going to do that. I don't use white out, okay? I don't have my pen license yet. So it's penciled in. But holy shit, this is the deal. If I come to the UK and do shows there this year and come to New Zealand and do shows there this year, you have to promise, because I can't promise, you have to promise that if I fucking kill, you don't call the authorities. That's the only... If we can agree on that, if you're in the UK right now and you're about to dial whatever your emergency, don't, because I'm predicting a murder. Like I might be in London, right? I'm not gonna confirm or deny where I'm going, but say if you're in London right now, right? Yeah, you might get a chance to catch me this year, but I can't promise that I won't kill and murder, because I got some new shit and it's good material. some of the best material I've ever written. So if we can have an understanding before I go there that you won't dob me in, because I don't want to get deported. I still have other shows to do, okay? But, you know, this year, I'll probably, let's be honest, with the material that I've written, I'm going to be on the run this year. So, it's exciting. I cannot wait for you to come to these shows. International's happening, and that's the coolest shit ever. If you would have told me like 3 years ago I'd be doing shows overseas, I'd have been like, get the fuck out of here. I would have been like, fuck off. Huh? I'm not doing that shit. No way. I want to, but I can't do it. It's happening. Okay? 3 years ago, I would have told you to move it. I would have been like, move on. Shouldn't be in these parts with that optimism. But here we are, 3 years later. I'm going to be jetting off. I hope my comedy translates in the UK, you know. Like, what about if I'm just like such a bogan at this point? Like, I'm going to have to change my Weet-Bix references to whatever the fuck cereal that isn't nearly as good in the UK. So that's annoying. So yeah, that's some of the stuff. Have I gone through? Oh yeah, and also want to get to 150k subscribers, and I want to do 150 gigs this year. This year I did 142, which was the most I've ever done in a year, which is super cool. Now, some of those are 5-minute gigs. Lots of those are an hour. So I had a lot of stage time this year. So this year was like super cool in the sense that I really focused on stand-up. Last year I really focused on stand-up. This year will also be a massive focus on stand-up. For those who are here going, do more YouTube, go watch a YouTuber, right? If you want that. I just want to do comedy. And obviously I'll be still doing YouTube and stuff because I still love doing that. But yeah, massive focus on stand-up. Want to film it all this year. And I think that's what's going to get me popping off to that next level, you know? So what else? I think that's it. Oh, and so yeah, well, what I was saying earlier and what I didn't get to was last year I reckon I did the least growing career-wise. I felt when you say all those things on paper it was a very good year. And maybe I'm just doubting myself. It was a great year. I had a comedy special. You know what? It was probably the best year I've ever had. But I just feel like I'm capable of a lot more. Last year I feel like I did the least growing career-wise in my opinion, but I guess I didn't. I don't know. But I feel like I did the most growing off, like out of career, like personally. I feel like, and that sounds lame maybe, but I just feel like I grew the fuck up last year. I finally worked out what I wanted. I almost worked out how to do it, and I did it by myself. I moved out of home. I've now got my own space. This room is like a little office. I have a desk behind there. I got a podcast set, brand new setup. There's no excuse anymore. You know what I mean? Like I've set myself up. Last year was setting myself up. Even with Luke and Lewis, like we still need to get out of that dog shit warehouse, but you know, there's still room for improvement. But we've really like got all our things up and running now. And this year's the year to essentially just take over with it. And there's no excuse. It's just like, I feel like I've done the building blocks for 3 years now and I've got a base audience. Thankfully there's people like you legends who I really enjoy my comedy. This podcast hasn't been that funny up until now, but I just wanted to let you guys to know what to expect. I'm not going to promise anything, right? Because I'm going to see if I can do it first, right? I'm going to spend like the whole year working my ass off and try and deliver weekly podcasts. So I fucking hope there'll be a podcast next week. And then once I get a few weeks in a row, I'm going to work out a day that this podcast is being released on. We might try and go back to Mondays or Wednesdays. We'll see. And every week there's going to be new Memoirs of a White Guy. And it's going to be huge. So tell your friends, tell them to get amongst it. And if you want to come get on board the journey, would love your support. So yeah, come see me live on this regional tour. I should probably read out those dates before I move on to some other funny shit. Bear with me. What dates are we doing? I don't know. We are doing, I got to find on my own Instagram to promote my shows. We are doing Warrnambool, Ballarat, Shepparton, Wagga Wagga, Bathurst, Central Coast, Port Macquarie, Toowoomba, Bundaberg, Rockhampton, Mackay, Townsville, and Cairns. And for those overseas, yes, they are real Australian places. Toowoomba and Wagga Wagga and Warrnambool is a real place. So yeah, February, hopefully those shows are not affected by the fires. I guess we just need to wait and see, but they are absolutely going ahead at this point, so get a ticket, and we would love to see you there. They're going to be super intimate. Lewis and I will be meeting everyone afterwards, chilling. So yeah, come hang out, and we'll have an absolute ripper a time, a rip snorter of an evening, you could say. What else do I want to talk about? I wrote down a couple more things. Here's one. Moving out's going well. I've moved out of home now for it's been almost 5 weeks, and week 1, I almost shut myself in my own house. So that's how adulthood's going. How are you? Because I almost had shit running down my leg. What happened was, we had a leaking, so we bought toilet paper, as you do when you move house. You're like, we need some bloody poo tickets, so get them up me, or not up me, just get them on me, and wiping what needs to be wiped. That's what they're for. So we bought some, then we put them under the laundry sink. Unfortunately, to our knowledge, we did not know that we had a leak in our laundry sink. So the leak, as soon as we turned on the laundry sink for something, a day later, I found all the toilet rolls as I went to change one, just completely soaked under the cabinet. I was like, oh dear, what's going to happen? So Meg was like, don't worry, I'm out at the moment on the way home from work. I'll pick up some toilet paper on the way home at the shop. So I was like, great, thank you so much, because I really need, when you're just like, I don't want to be graphic, but you know when you're heaving for a dump, you are frothing at the mouth. You're frothing at the butthole, right? You're fiending for that sweet release. I was at that point. I was at the point where I was like, sit down, just breathe. It's gonna be okay. It was the only time I'd ever considered starting meditation and just slow breathing, and I'll just be like, if I just suck them in, my ass isn't gonna fall out of my pants. Because that's how I was feeling. I was like, that's fine. Makes me home in half an hour. Distract yourself. Do something. Watch something. Unpack some stuff. Look, you got a lot to do. All right. And you can't shit on the floor. All right. Have you ever, I don't know if maybe this is just me being a desperate man, but have you ever walked past a sink and just considered it? Being like, I could stuff it down. Or like in a drain, that's when you know you're desperate, is when you look at a drain and go, no, that's not a toilet. But there's a half a second where you go, but maybe. So that's where I was at. Not a great start to adult life, is it? When you're considering shitting in your new sink in a rental. Imagine explaining that to the plumber. Just being like he's like, this is a human poo. And you're going like, yeah, dude, shit got bad, all right? Because really, you should have called the plumber to fix the laundry sink, not the plumber to plunge out your poo, right? You should. Anyway, so I'm waiting for Meg to come back with toilet paper. She comes back with all the shopping, I was thinking, thank God, Meg's back, woohoo! I kind of look around the shopping bags, and I go, did you bring the toilet paper? She's like, yeah, I bought toilet paper. I got toilet paper off the shelf. I purchased it. She's like, where's the toilet paper? I was like, it must be in the car. So I ran out to the car and I was like, nope, not in there. I was like, you sure you bought it? She's like, no, I definitely bought it. We looked at the receipt. There's toilet paper there. I was like, you bought some toilet rolls. All right, where is it? And she goes, oh, shit. I think I might have left it at the self-serve checkout. And she's like, I'm so tired from work. Like, is it cool if you go up and get them? And I was like, I was already at the door. She didn't have to ask me. All right. I'm like, dude, it's already fucking running down my leg. All right. I'm going to have to go get this toilet paper. Like, I was, even on the drive to the shops, I was like eyeing off bushes, shrubbery, drains, puddles, lakes, anywhere that I could use to relieve myself. Now, I've talked about doing a public poo once in this podcast before. I'm very proud to say I've still only ever done one public poo back in year 10 in the Grampians. And that still remains to this day, and I'm proud of that. I didn't do a public poo. I rocked up to the Safeway. My first thought was, does Safeway have a toilet? Oh, sorry, not Safeway. Fuck, I always call it Safeway. It's been Woolworths since like 2008. All right, again, I'm still stuck in like, it's too late to apologize. This is my brain is. My brain never evolved. I'm still like just going through Kings of Leon lyrics in my head. So that's fucked as well, by the way. Can we actually consider that? I realized this week, I know this is a bit of a detour from the story, I apologize, but I haven't evolved. All these people on Instagram this week have been posting like, throwback pics of like, oh my God, look how far I've come this decade, like 2010 to now. I'm looking at these pictures and I'm like, yeah, sure, I look different physically, but looking back to where I was in 2010, I see a young boy who liked Blink-182 too much, has always thought about dabbling in skateboarding, but never had the confidence and always thought he was funny. I look at me now, I'm that same guy. I like Blink-182 too much. I still always think about dabbling in skateboarding, but I've left it too late now. I can't start when I'm 23, all right? I even think it's sad when Tony Hawk is skateboarding these days. You see like some old guy skateboarding and it's like, Tony Hawk can do it because he can do cool tricks and he's Tony Hawk, right? But when you see some old dude skateboarding, that's how I feel. I know I'm young still, but like, fuck, man, I'm going to die soon. Like, I'm 23. So, I realized that I haven't evolved at all. And I still think I'm funny. I like Blink-182. The only thing really that happened is someone gave me this Darth Vader mug. And now I'm just ticking off my goals drinking out of it. But that's about it. So I don't know what my point was there. My point was I haven't evolved. And is that a good thing? You know what? Maybe in 2010, I just had it all figured out. And I got it. And maybe I don't need to change. But I feel like you should change over a decade. It just shocked me to my core how little I've actually changed since, I think, what was 2010? I would have been in year 8 going into year 9. So, like, yeah, year 8 maybe. Maybe what's changed since then? I've seen some titties. I still listen to Fall Out Boy. I own more shit now because I have a job, I guess. Not really. I do this. I'm probably more into percussion, more into tambourining. Jeez, it's not great if that's all you've done over a decade. Like I've achieved I've seen the world, I've done stuff, like I've done and gone and done a lot of shit. But like when you really break me down to my core, this is year 8 Luke. This was me I'm just still chilling, I probably just chill harder these days. I really haven't changed, I'm just more into like, fuck, I still like Eminem. Like, my music taste hasn't changed, that's for sure. Maybe my taste in like movies I still like Star Wars. God damn, I'm a year 8 boy. That's what you're listening to. A year 8 boy talk about his feelings for an hour. Anyway, back to my story. So, I'm shitting myself. Once again, have not evolved. It's 2020. We're in the future, and I'm still about to shit myself in a supermarket. Awesome. So, I'm in the supermarket. I'm just like, at this point, I can't think. When like your brain just turns to mush and all you can think about, my brain turned to poo because all I wanted to do was poo. So, I go to that self-serve desk and I'm like, hey, my girlfriend, I bought the receipt. I was like, she had left this toilet paper here. And I think the lady was like wondering, like, why is he in such a rush? Like, does he need it now? And I was like, I need it now. Like, I almost considered like, I was like, can I duck behind the desk? I'll just pop a squat and you just have to deal with this. I was at that point. So then I go in, I pick up the 12 pack, right? I've got this big heaps of toilet rolls. It might have been like even a 24 pack, like a jumbo pack of toilet paper, whatever the biggest one is. I forget. I think it's 12 or is it 24? I don't know. I'm walking out of the supermarket with that. And do you know how much people stare at you if you just leave a supermarket with toilet paper? I only realized it in that situation. Usually it's like, I'm going to get bread, milk. Oh, we need new toilet paper. Oh, I've got to pick up that. And you walk out with like a bag of shit. It's like this guy just nodded at me on the way out. He just went, just like out of respect maybe. Because like I was just toilet paper. Like that's the man who needs the shit. If you watch it, I was the guy just walking out, singlet, thongs, just with I was walking so briskly that it sent a message to everyone in that car park of that Woolworths just going, move out of the way. This bloke's got a dump. And I barely made it home. And I ran inside. I got it done. But boy, oh boy, it wasn't a good start to moving out and adult life. Because forever, that's going to be my first memory of like, you know, people have moving out stories and that's my story now. People go, how was moving out? And I'm like, well, yeah, I almost shat myself within a week in my own house. So not great. But other than that, things have been going awesome. I actually really love it. I genuinely love it. I'm living with my best friend in the world. That's another thing about this year. I'm about last year. I've never been happier. I'm in a relationship that I love. And Meg's the best. Love her to bits. So, yeah, things are looking up. And now we live together. We're just straight up chilling all the time, right? We watch movies a lot. But we both work very hard with getting some juicy content out for you guys. And I went to the beach last week. I'm just trying to catch you guys up. I'm trying to get you guys filled in so then the next chapter we can really get things going. This is just a catch-up podcast. What else? Beach was good. I got a little bit sunburnt. I'm quite irresponsible in the sun. You know, to me, UV is a joke when really it shouldn't be because of my skin. I'm the pastiest person I know, I think. And I feel like there's more shit to tell you. What else did I have on my list? We're creeping up to 55 minutes. I'll just check my list of stuff. What did I write down for podcast? Jetstar flights smell like farts. I don't even remember why I wrote that down. This is how long it's been since I did the last podcast. Like I've been to almost every single state in the country since then. And at one point on a flight, I must have just smelt a fart. I think I was pretty angry at Jetstar in December because we got a 5-hour delay once at the airport and it sucked dick. And then I was probably got on the plane and I was like, fuck this plane, it smells like farts. And then I probably thought of some awesome slam to talk about on the podcast. And it's wandered off. I don't remember what I was going to say, but you know what? Fuck you, Jetstar, you farting dogs. All right. I bet that plane did smell like farts. I don't really remember writing that down, but you know what? If I wrote it down, it meant it definitely did. So put some air freshener. All right. Freshen up your plane. Stop giving people delays and be a better airline. Less farts. Cool. Apple. This was a thing. This is another long story though, but I'll cut it short. Apple had my laptop for 15 days, I think by that, or 14 days. No, I think it was over 2 weeks. 15 days they had it for, which is another reason why in December content just slowed up because I didn't have my laptop for 15 days because Apple were like, it's going to be a 3 to 4 day turnaround. And I was like, yeah, I could probably do that. Then 15 days later, I eventually get back my laptop. They gave me, this is what happened. You know when you go to the App Store? The Apple Store. Fuck me, I'm tired. You know when you go to the Apple Store and they pretend that they've fixed your shit, but you know they haven't. They've just given you a new one. They're like, here's your new laptop. We've fixed it. And I was like to the girl, I was like, that's a new one. I was like, it's a new laptop. And she's like, no, this is yours. I'm like, really? I'm like, so if I try the H key, because it was always broken, that will be still broken, right? She's like, yeah. Tried the H key, it worked. And she looked so guilty. She knew. I was like, why are you lying? Right? So they were like, oh, we fixed the whole exterior. We got your screen replaced and your touch bar. I was like, that's it. Screen and touch bar. She's like, yeah. I was like, the computer's a different color. And she's like, oh, they must have changed some parts on it. And I was like, this is a new fucking computer. I don't know why they lie. I don't know what they get out of it. But I was like, well, so where's my old one? Like, can I just delete just bring up my old one, right? And delete all the shit. And then that's cool. I don't care. I get a new laptop out of it. I had to pay like $2,000 as well. It's not like I got a free new laptop, right? My old one was fucked. And then they had to pay $2,000 to fix it. And then whatever. So that's my life now. Paying $2,000, getting lied to at Apple, and just accepting it. Because I'm like, oh, it's capitalism. That's how we do it. They're Apple. What am I going to do? Sit there and be like, I want to speak to the manager. He's dead. Dude's not around anymore. I want to speak to Steve Jobs. Cool. Call his grave, asshole. Get the fuck out of my store. And I feel bad for every Apple employee because they're just told to lie. They just told this guy we fixed his laptop. You didn't fix that shit. I'm like, oh, so all my shit's on it? Like, no, we had to reset it. I was like, sure you did. Has got a completely new operating system on it to what I left it as. You definitely gave me a new laptop. It was anyway, whatever. So that was the thing that happened. 2020 is going to be great. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. I'll be back next week with a brand new one, and that is cool, and I'm excited. How cool is that, guys? So cool. And yeah, just going to be ticking off goals, you know? Drinking more water out of my Darth Vader mug. And covering the thing behind me with stickers, doing heaps of gigs. Yeah, just I'm going to keep crushing it at gigs, you know? Keep living that nothing but net lifestyle. That's how we do it. So yeah, if you want to join this nothing but net lifestyle, if you want to see it continue, get on the Patreon. Would love to have your support. It's going to fund this podcast, and it is going to fund stand-up clips this year, which is the best thing I do. I can promise you that. Wait till you see the new ones I put out if you're not convinced. And then, yeah, I'd love to just stop. And then, yeah, I'd love to get your support. So thank you all very much. I will see you next week. Woo!
So